After that debate between Joe Biden and President Trump last month, I think it's safe to say that we all think that Joe Biden should go ahead and drop out the race. But Tucker Carlson just reports that Jill Biden is keeping her husband away from people who would convince him to drop out. Reports that Obama is bashing Biden behind the scenes.
Here in North Carolina and across America, who are working hard to find a secure place in the middle class. The moms who worry that I saw in him then the same character that I see in him today. And even though he has faced unimaginable tragedies, his optimism is undaunted. Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why? Yes.
I'm going to just say it with everybody thinking, hey, Jill, we got a problem with you, too. How you going to sit there and allow that man to be out on Front Street knowing he demented like that, huh? Then you want to sit there and treat him like a toddler. Oh, you did such a good job. You answered every question. Oh, my God. That's annoying. Now, what's all this talk about Obama having a problem with Biden running again?
The media in panic mode after Joe Biden's disastrous debate performance. But despite calls for him to drop out, including from the New York Times editorial board, the Biden camp insists he is staying in the race and determined to debate Trump again in September. Our next guest is a former economic advisor to President Obama, has done debate prep for both Obama and the Clinton campaigns. Fox News contributor Robert Wolf joins us now. Robert, it's great to have you. In full disclosure, we've texted a little bit about this. We're friends, even though we disagree on a lot of things. You've supported Joe Biden for a long time. You know the donor class here. What's your takeaway now, 48 hours away from this not a good debate?
Well, first, Pete, I know you having me follow Kevin Costner. You did that on purpose.
Of course,
and that's not easy. But tell Will, great segment. Listen, hard to sugarcoat it. No one can be happy with President Biden's performance.
Nobody.
And anyone who is saying that he did a good job is friggin' delusional. Listen, I'd love to fact check you right now with all former President Trump's falsehoods, but the truth is President Biden had the chance to do that at the moment, and he didn't. You know, with respect to where we stand, Pete, as we were chatting yesterday, there's no back room anymore of party elders smoking cigars, drinking whiskey to decide on this brokered convention. This is going to be solely up to President Biden because he owns the delegates and he will decide whether he will or will not step down. And I think for people like me who are staunch Democrats, we're going to just back him until he makes a decision. So we're all in at this point.
You just gonna back him after that? Like after watching, you just gonna blindly, bro? This is what we call politics, y'all. This is America right there.
Well,
that's the depiction.
So you're all in. I mean, you're not part of the class, the New York Times and others that are saying we've got to move on. You're prepared and willing, based on the performance you saw and his capability to say, even though he's that guy, he's my guy.
Yeah, I am. And the reason I say that is, I'm not one of those Democratic bedwetters that you guys know all too well. You know, my view is when it's his decision, we can talk and have all this rhetoric back and forth, this and all that. But when it's up to him, you have to see the bigger picture. For me, the bigger picture is while he's the candidate, you have to be all in. You can't curve. You can't veer. You
can. After a debate like that, bro, I'm scared. I'm curved. I'm veered, bro. I might hit a tree, bro. I'm okay with it. It's better than running into this stump.
Kind of just keep punching. Certainly, if he was to make a decision, then I would support whoever the next person is.
But Robert, I mean, what we saw 2 nights ago was not an outlier. If you've been paying attention, this is Joe, and it's been going in that direction. So as a patriot, and I know you are, Like, aren't you concerned for the state of the nation? Who's running the country? Who's behind this guy?
Pete, I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, he's the one that said, "Watch me." We all watched him, and we didn't like what we saw. Now, let me just take a step back. You have to differentiate, in my opinion, the 3.5 years of President Biden. We can debate that. I think he's had a great 3.5 years, and we disagree.
We'll leave that there.
Versus the 90 minutes of candidate Biden. And there's a very different perspective that came out. Candidate Biden failed the test that night. I think President Biden over the last 3.5 years has done an outstanding job. I know we disagree on that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. I mean, I've been with him recently, and yes, President Biden's old. There's no disagreement on that. But you know, that night was just. So
you're with the the group that says I've been with him and he's sharp. I mean, you really feel that way? This is not camouflage.
He certainly wasn't sharp that night. But if you saw him yesterday in North Carolina or the State of the Union, you saw a different person. I can't explain it. It's not explainable to me what happened, you know, during that 90-minute debate. I was in disbelief, as was every Democrat who was watching.
Interesting. Robert, real quick before we go, do you still think there's time for Democrats to change if they needed to?
Listen, there's no question there's change. If at the convention he decides to give his delegates away to someone, then absolutely there's a change to be had. But that's 100% up to President Biden. Like I said, he owns the delegates today. The primary season's over. That would have to be him at the convention handing them to someone else.
Interesting. That's what Will and I are going to talk about when we go off the wall.
Somebody wrote in the comments, a wise person once said, Biden doesn't need a cognitive test. His voters do. Oh, my gosh. That is the truth. The fact that people actually watched that debate and heard both of the candidates speak and actually thought that what Biden was saying was the truth simply because he was saying that what Trump was saying was a lie. Nah, man. You see, the media, they upset because the whole world now knows that their fake video of Biden being all high and mighty and all riled up, you know what I'm saying, talking about he's prepared to do this and do that, it backfired right in their face. And it backfired hard. And on top of that, they also got to see all of the lies being told in 4K. They got to see it right there and hear it with their own 2 ears if they were actually paying attention and willing to pay attention, because you got people who's watching that debate who actually just hate Trump. No matter what he say, factual or non-factual, they don't care. But the question that I have right now is, so who is running the countries right now? Who's running the country right now? Do liberals even know? Is it Obama, the one who's advising him to step down? Why is Obama the forefront of this whole thing right now? Could that be, you know, more fuel to the theory or the conspiracy of him actually being the guy running the president right now and has been running since Biden been in office and all that? This could be his 4th term. Who would they even replace Biden with? Michelle? And quick question. If you also want him to get off of the case, why are you talking to him like this?
It's not just the negative case against the presumptive nominee on the other side.
I meant to say get out of the office.
Case for somebody who's done an outstanding job in the presidency. You've got record-breaking job growth. You've got an unemployment rate that is as low as it has been. Seniors are seeing big discounts in their prescription drugs. Helping young people go to college. The record-setting investment in clean energy that's going to transition us to the kind of future that our children and grandchildren deserve. And that is something that Joe Biden has worked on diligently each and every day on behalf of working Americans, and I expect...
I know when he said each and every day it was a lot. That man be on vacation every day. Obama.
Him to continue to do that for the next 4 years and 8 months. It's
looking like Biden's 1st term and Obama's 3rd. But we all can agree that Joe Biden's term has been a disaster despite what they try to project. We know that Joe Biden inherited a lot from the, previous president, which is Trump. And we also know that a lot of his record-breaking numbers come from coming off of the pandemic. Like, the American people, we not stupid, you know? The real question is, do we want to give Obama a fourth term?
What you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that. What you know now, do you wish?
Okay, I heard you out. Now I'm gonna play this clip that I played in like 2 days ago in another video. I'm gonna play this clip again. I want you to hear it again.
I don't know if you guys have thought about this or not, but after watching the debate last night, it's pretty obvious Joe Biden is not running the country, which means somebody else who we didn't vote for is running the country, which means that's a coup. They took over this country without firing a shot. Somebody that we, the people, did not choose is running this country, and that ought to scare the crap out of you. And if it doesn't, there's really something wrong with you, honestly.
You know what? I like to say this. It actually doesn't scare me anymore. It just makes me really, really angry. It does. Shadow government, man. A collective of appointed people to really run that office. It's pissing me off.